Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Mike Nylander, and you have just found your way to another episode of Handbag Mike, the channel devoted not just to one, but to two different things that I like: handbags and talking. So, you know what to do. Please hit that like button. And please be sure to subscribe as I take a look at the latest handbags from various designers such as Louis Vuitton, Prada, Coach, Michael Kors, Dooney and Burke, and as we will see today, more. I will give you my opinion as to what's hot and what's not. Now, each new episode will center around a different bag, and each bag is going to be thoroughly and wittingly reviewed by yours truly. So, stay tuned. Today's episode is going to be extra special and extra fun. It is time for another video on Handbag Mike, and you know what that means. I would first and foremost, however, like to take the time to explain why I've been away for a little bit longer than I actually cared to be. The excuse for this? Well, crap internet connection. You know, it is just completely funny how we take the internet for granted, not really knowing how much we completely rely on it. I mean, my husband and I use it for everything. I use it for work, and we both like to browse online. We even watch TV through the internet. And having been without it for just over a week, well, it's been a complete nightmare. I like to think that I'm a person who doesn't need the internet to survive, but clearly this time has proven that to be a rather false thought. So, you know what? I am quite happy to say that we're getting back on track and the internet is back. And now, with this said, it is time that we march on to a new video. As you will remember, I've decided to look at bags until the end of the holiday season that are under the price point of $200. And today, I am excited to announce that I will be showing a bag that I actually have in my possession. This is a first on this channel. Most of the time I just look at bags that are available in that price point and I give my opinions. You know, either bitching about the bag or praising it. But today I decided to do something different and show a bag that I got just a few days ago. My husband and I were passing a local boutique and we both saw it, and instantly, we went inside to check out the specifics of it. And you know what? I thought it was a really cute bag, and it was sold at a great price point. It is a bag that is put out by a company that I had never actually heard of before, a company called Sprayground. Now, I know that there are many people who are going to look at this bag that I will show in just a minute here, and they're going to say, you know, in a rather snobby voice, "Oh, that is just a Louis Vuitton Neverfull knockoff." Well, let me show it to you right now. And I am here to tell you that this is not a Louis Vuitton, nor would I ever lead anybody to falsely believe that it was. So there. Take that to all of you who just said that. You're welcome. My husband bought me this bag as an early 40th birthday present. Yes, my birthday is about a month away from now, but honestly, this past few weeks has been very stressful, and quite honestly, I've been fighting depression more than typical, so he was very kind to do this for me. He was kind enough to get me this bag in the hopes that it would make me feel a little bit happier, and honestly, it is working. I will say that owning this particular bag means this video is going to be very different from the ones I've been posting before, and I am not going to be providing the grading scale to look at in this video. Rather, I'm going to be talking about the bag, showing you different parts of it throughout this video, and I am going to be giving my review as a happy owner of it and letting you know all of the information you would need should you wish to buy it, as well as some extra tidbits that I have discovered that have actually made me like this brand even more. So, with this said, I invite you to relax on that nice comfy sofa as we take a look at our next bag on Man Bag Mike. So, I would like to first take the time to talk about the brand of Sprayground and its founder. I will give a little summary here, and then quite honestly, I would urge you all to go and find out more about the brand to decide if it's something that you're interested in. This brand was founded in 2010 by David Ben David. So you know what? It is a new brand. But that doesn't mean that it's not getting attention in a massive way, because it is. It was created originally as a way to change the basic and boring backpacks that street artists would use to carry around paint cans. It was created as a way to give individuality to the backpacks they used. And I can appreciate that because I do believe individuality is a key part of life. I think that it is something we all need to express as openly as we can. Since then, the company has obviously expanded. I mean, I have a tote now, not a backpack. It has also gone through several collaborations, and there have been bags that have used SpongeBob, as well as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This brand has also had collaborations with Spike Lee and Shaquille O'Neal. And according to articles published online, we can see celebrities such as Beyonce are more than happy to be seen sporting their own Sprayground bags. So once again, the company is getting attention despite being only 11 years old, and that is awesome. I am going to just go ahead right here and say the one thing that I found online that made me really appreciate this company in a whole new light. Okay, I mean, sure. I think the bag that I own, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is very cute. But there was something beyond just the bag that made this company really desirable for me after having read it. And now, knowing this information, I can say that I'm even happier to carry around this bag, and that I do so rather proudly. So during the height of the COVID pandemic, when things were at the very difficult level and people needed help, the founder of Sprayground stepped in. Mr. Ben David took his tote bags, a lot like this one, and he filled them to the brim with necessities to help those people most in need. He began working, we can see several articles stating, with the Lower East Side Girls Club in Manhattan, where he gave these totes, which were full of food, clothing, masks that his company had produced, and hoodies that the company had produced to those in need in New York. Now, I will honestly say that the pandemic was something that was just truly freaking horrible, and there were many people that were severely affected by it, having lost their jobs or being temporarily let go because of businesses closing. So, I think it is really refreshing to see this type of help from a company. Because rather than letting money be the bottom line, we can see that the founder of Sprayground actually had a desire to rise above and help those in need in a moment of crisis. And I can actually really appreciate that. He would go out every Sunday to help others and deliver these totes, which were filled with necessities. After having read this while preparing to give the review of this bag, I can honestly say that I was even more impressed with the company on a whole. And now, quite honestly, I would say that I would fully recommend their goods, simply for this knowledge alone. Because I'm just going to say that any type of company that shows this type of compassionate humanity, it's just truly touching. And quite honestly, I can support that fully. So, okay, enough of that. Let's actually talk about the bag now. Okay, so there are several, and I do mean several, different types of bags that are produced by this company. You have backpacks, obviously, that's what the company started off with. You have bum bags, you have duffels, and so on. But as I got the tote, I will be talking in this video exclusively about the tote bags. Now, the design of the tote bag that I got is called Henry Heir to the Throne Tote. This bag has, what many people have called the rip-off damier print from Louis Vuitton. And to that, I would actually argue that it is just a freaking checker pattern, people. I mean, come on. Checker prints have, they've been around forever. Furthermore, even if you are adamant about this being a ripoff, which I am not, and like I've said, I would never even try to pass it off as a Louis Vuitton because I know it's not. I'm just going to ask anybody who is adamant that this screams Louis Vuitton to think about this for one moment. At least consider that every brand out there takes from one another. Michael Kors, for example, has several bags that steal design elements from Louis Vuitton. Coach has quilted bags that borrow heavily from Chanel. These are just two examples that I'm going to give. However, it goes on in every single company. There is no such thing as original, people. Not anymore. There's just not. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Okay? So let's continue to look at the fact that people are going to continue to insist that this is just some Louis Vuitton knockoff and that everything it's doing is done because Louis Vuitton did it first. So there are people who are actually going to look at this red fob with the white word Sprayground on it, and they are going to say that it is a blatant ripoff of the Louis Vuitton Supreme bags. But you know what? I'm just going to say this. Hold up one moment, because that would actually be inaccurate information. The Louis Vuitton Supreme collection was actually launched some years after the creation of Sprayground. My research online said that the Louis Vuitton Supreme collection was released in 2017. This bag came out in 2010, and with the first Sprayground bags, they actually did have this little red fob. So, you know what? Not correct that they're copying the Supreme because they did it first. Just wanted to lay that out there for you. Okay, so continuing to look at different parts of this bag. This particular bag, the Henry Heir to the Throne Tote, has a tan streak going from the top of the bag to the bottom, and it is layered over a cute little shark mouth. The thing that I actually really like about this bag is that the shark mouth is not just painted or printed onto the checkered fabric. Rather, it is actually different fabrics that have been stitched on top of the checkered background, giving a three-dimensional shark's mouth. And quite honestly, that adds a bit of a nice texture to the bag. The mouth and the tan streak over it can actually be seen on both the front and the back of the bag. And the bottom of this bag is made of the same fabric as the thin band, which is that tan fabric. Furthermore, there is a thin band of the same fabric going around the top of the bag as well. So there is gold toned hardware on this bag, which is a gold zipper to close it. And there are gold toned connecting straps that are square in shape. As I have said already, there's the red fob on the front of this bag, which has a mirror on the opposite side. And we have a thin red nameplate on the front as well. The one thing that I did not notice until I was using the bag was actually the cuteness of the handles. I mean, when I got the bag, when I saw the shark mouth on it, I thought it was cute, and that's part of the reason why I really, really loved it. Actually, that's the whole reason I really loved it. But then when I started using it, I noticed the handles and they made me love it even more because they're just that much more whimsical and I think they're really cute. When we're looking at the handles on a single side, so it's on the outer side of each handle, we have what are actually embossed little shark teeth on the handles on both, which are actually really cute, and they just add kind of a fun and whimsical finishing touch to the bag, and I think that's really great. Next, we are going to look at the versatility of this fun little bag, and I'm gonna actually say that all things considered, it is a pretty versatile bag and when you could use it. While I would not actually call this a formal bag, due to the shark mouth, it kind of takes the formality away. I am just going to go out and say right now, yet again, that I do not consider myself to be all that sophisticated a person, and I do not typically tend to attend formal affairs. So this is not that big of a deal breaker for me. I will say that this bag is one that, as my husband put it when we had got it for me, is not necessarily feminine. I mean, the fact that it has that shark's mouth on it kind of takes away the femininity to it. Not completely, but at the same time it makes it non-gender, I think. So with this particular bag, we have one that I believe could be used by either gender and break down gender norms, which is something that I am all for. I've already said that when looking at the Marc Jacobs camera bag, and I believe that this bag does the same thing, so, yay. The material of this bag is one that allows it to be used throughout the year, which I actually really appreciate. So, the checkered part of this bag is a woven fabric, which, just woven fabric. And then we have the tan streak, the bottom, the top piping, and the handles. And these are made using vegan leather substitute, which is the same materials that are actually used for the shark's mouth right here. So, let me just say that, yes, it is true that none of this bag, or, any bag that comes from this company is made from coated canvas or even leather. But for this particular bag, I find that I'm actually okay with that. And perhaps it's just because it is so freaking cute. But I'm just going to say that with this knowledge out of the way, we are told that this bag is water resistant, which is something that I am all for because, I like the fact that I don't have to worry if it rains, I'm going to have a problem with the bag. We're also told that the material is very durable. And inside the bag, let me see if I can show you, we have a red lining, which is made out of cotton. And there is also a zipper pocket on the back. Now, I am going to say one thing here that I'm surprised by, and that is that there is not a pocket, either a zipper pocket or a slip front pocket on the front. I think that that's kind of a wasted space, yet at the same time, it's not a deal breaker for me. because in the end it does have the zipper pocket on the back, which is good for storing keys and also big enough for your cell phone should you not want that to get scratched. And honestly, I mean, there is plenty of space inside this bag for there not to be pockets everywhere. I'm okay with that. I will also say that I am kind of bummed that it doesn't have feet on the bottom of it. You know, especially considering that there are other models of bags on the Sprayground website where I did see feet being used. Again, the feet for me are more of an aesthetic thing than anything else, so practicality-wise, it's not a bother for me. It's just, I think they would have looked nice having them there, and seeing that other bags did have them, I've got to question why this one doesn't, but in the end, not a big deal. When we look at the dimensions of this bag, we can see, clearly it's a bigger bag, which is something that I'm very, very into. We have the handles, once again, with the cute little shark teeth on them, that are 8.6 inches in drop, and the bag's dimensions are 13.75 inches wide by 11 inches high by 6 inches deep. Now, please keep in mind that these are approximate sizes and they may be off a little bit, but they're pretty close. The handles, I will say, are the perfect length for holding this bag over your shoulder or by the hand without the bag hanging too low and close to the ground. And when it comes to the cost of this bag, I'm going to say that this part is actually a little bit tricky. And the reason for it is as follows. While the company does have its own website, sprayground.com, there are a good number of products, including this particular little cutie, that are sold out on the company website. Okay, so I'm just going to let you know the reason for this. The reason for this is that every single bag that this company produces is done in limited edition quality. So, hold on 1 minute. See, it actually has the limited edition tag on it. So, honestly, once the company sells out of that particular bag, it is done. Which means that a lot of times you're not going to find the bag, be it the tote, which is what I'm looking at, on their website. And that's the case with this specific tote. You're not going to find it on their website anymore. The bag is one that you would have to find, as many other types, such as the Garden of Sharks, which was also one that I really liked. You're going to have to find those in different ways, such as, like my husband found me this one at a boutique, or you're going to have to go and look for them through a Google search. This means that there will actually not be a fixed price on these totes or on any of the Sprayground bags because they are actually being sold through different vendors once they are no longer sold through the Sprayground website. But I'm going to go ahead and say that you could expect to spend somewhere in the ballpark of $60 to $100 on this bag. And as such, that makes it definitely a candidate in the under $200 list that I'm creating for holiday shopping. So, I just breached this topic a few seconds ago, but now I'm actually going to go full into it. Each bag that is produced by Sprayground is done so on a limited edition. And they all have this tag sewn on the inside, which says limited edition. And so that's kind of cool. I'm going to say it's really, really nice knowing that I'm going to be walking around with a bag that isn't something that everybody else will have access to. I kind of think that just makes it that much more special, knowing that it is not being mass produced and knowing that once the original allotted number of these bags is done being sold, that it's done. There won't be any more. I kind of like that. I really like that, actually. This one, which again is called the Henry Heir to the Throne, as well as the Garden of Sharks, which is another one that I really, really liked, and the A13, the Legacy Tote, are all limited editions, and they are all ones that you are not going to be able to find on the Sprayground website. The reason I bring these three up is, as follows. The boutique where my husband got me this one had these three totes available. And as it turns out, these were the last of the totes that they had. Meaning that this one actually is a window display, and now the boutique where I got it only has the two totes left. They have the Garden of Sharks and the AI3, the Legacy. That is it. Once those totes are gone from that specific boutique, they're gone. And I think, once again, that's actually really, really neat to know that this company is constantly putting out new designs, so you will have new designs to look forward to, which is kind of cool. But it's also really neat to know that once that specific design of bag that you have has reached the number of bags that are produced, it will not be made anymore and it will not be sold anymore. I really like that. In the end, I will say that this is a bag that I, for one, really, really like. It is perfectly whimsical and fun. The perfect bag for yours truly. And considering that my husband got it for me for $90, I'm going to say that it was a fair price, considering just how much I adore it. Again, I know there are many out there who are going to say that this tries to copy the Neverfull. Here's my words on this, and this is just my opinion. As long as you go in knowing that this is not a Neverfull, and as long as you are able to be real about telling yourself and telling other people that it is not a Neverfull, and that it is in fact a Sprayground, which is cool in its own right, then I feel that it is a great bag and actually a really great option for the holidays. I am definitely going to be calling this bag fab. I mean, duh, right? I own it. So with that said, you have now just seen my Sprayground Henry Heir to the Throne tote. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If so, then please, please, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button. And rest assured that I will be back soon with more. Until next time, I am Handbag Mike, and I am saying later.